Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the Morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Ukutei Sichas edition. Going to learn Parshas Noach. Sicha from Ukutei Sichas Chelek Aleph, Parshas Noach. When we go through it, there's a lot of sichas. In the first chalakim, the sichas are divided up into taken from different places. Just while we're here, something important to know, that Ukutei Sichas started off as like little pamphlets that every week they'll bring out a pamphlet. They would set up a sicha and then give out pamphlets. And after a few years of having these pamphlets being given out, they compiled them together and make it into a sefer. So this parsha is a lot of stuff, and a few things we're going to learn. It's very interesting. Also, if we get to it, I don't know if we're going to get it all the way. Maybe at the end of the week we go back to the same idea we learned in last week's parsha. And yeah, this is a very famous parsha, very chassidish parsha, the whole about the flood and about the Mayim Rabim. And we're going to see what it means in our lives and internalize it. Okay, I put the link over there. It's English and Yiddish. Let's begin. Parshas Noach. Parshas Noach, Muzbar Shamabu Loi Hayarak Einesh Elegam Pu'ula Shotahara. So this is already off the bat a wild idea. That Chassidus teaches us, and Alter brings it down in Ukutei Torah, that the flood wasn't just to destroy the world. Simple meaning the flood came to destroy the world, but on a deeper level, the flood was coming to purify the world. How do we see this? It purify the world, meaning because before the flood, the world wasn't pure. People weren't behaving properly. The world was in a bad state. And the Mabul came to purify it. That's why the Mabul came for 40 days. What's 40 days? What's that got to do with the mikvah? It's like a mikvah that has 40 saw. The minimum measurement of a mikvah has to be 40 saw, and the rain came for 40 days. So that 40-40 is making us, it's showing that in a deeper sense, the purpose of the flood wasn't to destroy, but was to purify. The world needed purification. That's also why the Mabul is called Mei Noach. Literally means the waters of Noach. But in a deeper sense, it means a calming and then like nice, like calm, settled. So too, now we're going to jump straight into what does it mean Tiras Parnasa. So too with stresses of life. Specifically, in this case, he's talking about financial concerns, just concerns of life. And which is called Mayim Rabim, which is called many waters. As explained at length in Torah, the Alter Rebbe. So what they do, it's very interesting. These waters, these raging waters that come, they're there also to clean us. It's already a wild idea. Meaning like this: in life, challenges come. We look at challenges as a negative, but what the Rebbe is saying is bringing down from the Alter Rebbe that the challenges in life are coming to help us, to purify us, to clean us, to make life better. And this is a very interesting point. You know, it's like something I've been learning. I have the thing that I heard. It's called that how does it go? Going out of your comfort zone, like being uncomfortable. All growth happens outside your comfort zone. Meaning, when you get the challenge, we can look at the challenge as I don't like challenges. I used to be like that. I don't want challenges. Leave me alone. You want to keep easy, and life's not hard. But the challenges are what make me grow. So what I've started to learn to do is when I feel uncomfortable, and it happens a lot, I tell myself, it means I'm growing. And this is sort of what the Alter Rebbe is saying. This is what the Rebbe is bringing down. That in life, when it's hard, and the challenges of life and the Mayim Rabim and there's the raging waters, and just like maybe trying to go against the river, it's very difficult. And this is life. We'll get all these difficult situations. It's hard. It could be shidduchim. It could be parnasa. It could be our apartments. It could be family issues. There's friends issues. Ain't safe, unfortunately. But what we're learning here is not that we don't want the issues. We have to learn the issues are coming to clean us up, to help us, to make life better. Because if we don't have challenges in life, life is boring and it wouldn't go anywhere. If we live just easy, it's meaningless. And these things really help us and push us. And this is what he's saying. So we see here two things. We see the Mabul and the Mayim Rabim. Both of those things, which seem to be negative, are actually helping clean us and helping us purify us and get us to a better place. Base. So now the Rebbe says, what is the connection of all these three things together? The deep idea of a mikvah, what's a mikvah? When you go into the mikvah, you totally nullify yourself. You're totally submerged. You're totally consumed. Like the Rambam says, in regards to the mikvah, you should dip yourself into the waters of knowledge and purity. That's what makes us have 40 saw. Why it has to be 40 saw? Because that's the minimum amount that the whole body can go into. Tefillah, is bittul. Tefillah, which is dipping, is the same letters as bittul, as humility, as nullification, as being submerged. Meaning that when you go into the mikvah and you submerge yourself, you get this bittul, and the bittul is the kli, is the vessel for connection, for Hashem, for kedusha. Meaning that that's the idea of the mikvah. That he's saying when you go into the mikvah, you get submerged, and what's submerging? It's like submerging ourselves in godliness. When you submerge yourself in godliness, meaning when like Sheish says beautifully, he goes, what does it mean? Ego means edging God out. So the ego is when we edging God out. So the mikvah and bittul is when we're edging God in, we're bringing God in. And the more we let God in, the more we can connect. The more we have that connection, and the more we connect to kedusha. And that's what we're saying. Then we go to the mikvah, you get totally submerged. That mikvah is showing us this idea of bittul. That bittul is not about losing yourself, but it's about connecting to your true self and getting close in connection to Hashem. And this is also the deeper idea of the dagas parnasa, of the financial concerns. Same idea. That they cause amnam, bilbul, fisha, even though it's true that at the time when you're stressed and you suddenly you're like, how am I going to pay rent? Or what's going to be? Am I ever going to get married? Or am I ever going to have any friends? Or does anyone like me? Or my family's messed up, whatever it is. And we have all these things coming to us. So for that time, for that moment that suddenly you're realizing this, it's very intense. And it could be, it took a while of being in that state. But through getting broken, through realizing the situation and causing us to raise battles and realizing that we need help, we need God to help us, or going out and seeking help, what happens? That realizing that I need help and this is a situation, it helps me get out and I become a clear to kedusha, a vessel for holiness. Meaning, like I said before, I'm sure I've used this example before, but years ago I didn't have any insurance. Long story. I wasn't able to work. I was on a student visa and I couldn't get any insurance, and my tooth broke. Had an issue with my tooth. I couldn't deal with it, and then it got infected, and I got stuck. And I didn't know what to do about it, and if I had to deal with it. So I called one of the dentists, and the dentist told me just to see me was $120. And I didn't have much money. I was like, that's just to get seen. Imagine how much it's going to cost me to actually get treated. And then I posted around, asked around, and then a neighbor of mine, she was like, go to a place and see, maybe that'll help you. So I called them up and they said, just to see me off the bat, like they'll sneak me in, because it's an emergency a little bit. $35. I'm like, okay, $35, that's doable. So I went there and they told me what I should do or whatever. They'll send me a prescription. And they said, what's with the insurance? I said, I don't have. I said, speak to the insurance lady and she'll sort you out. So I did. And she's like, you're right, you can't get insurance. We have a sliding fee scale. And you pay based off, if you can't get insurance, you pay based off how much you can afford. And I was able to afford. So for the fish shop, at that moment in the beginning, my tooth was hurting. I was like, Hashem, why are you doing this to me? It's like, I don't have insurance, it's not fair. But ultimately, I realized that this was Hashem's way of pushing me and helping me, connecting me. And through that bittul that I got in the situation, I called me how to get to a better place. And this is what we're saying. That in life, sometimes hard things happen, but it's only the fish shop. When we realize, hey, Hashem, why is this happening? What are you trying to get from me? What are you trying to teach me? What I'm trying to learn? Then we can move past it and get the message and gain from it. Just like, and that's the ultimate purpose. That's what we said. That's the purpose of the Mayim Rabbim, and that's the idea of the mikvah, and that's the mabul, that it's coming to purify. Yeah, Gimel. And since the purpose of all these situations is not to punish us, God forbid, tahara, it's to wash away the things that aren't good and to purify. Harry Movements understood. Really, therefore, if that's the whole purpose, that can happen very quickly. If we recognize and that one moment we recognize what's behind all this, and he's saying, once you recognize, hey, one thing, everything's from Hashem, and this is, and why is this hard situation happening to me? It's because Hashem wants me to, it's to help me, it's to purify me, it's to clean up something, to make me more connected, and be like the mikvah and be submerged and be more connected to Elokus. So once I realize that, so then that issue doesn't have to last long, because that issue is there for a lesson, and it can go quickly. I'll give you another example. Chol Hamoed had a long issue. One of the things I should probably be working on, is being more pushy. I'm not pushy, but like more assertive. And I'm not very good at it at the moment. And end up going to an appointment. We talked about this last year. And I got to the situation where I had to be pushy. And people were pushing me to be pushy. And I worked on that. But I said to myself at the point, why is Hashem doing this to me? I don't get it. What should me learning here? And afterwards, I forgot about it and I realized that was exactly the message. Hashem was trying to tell me, you've got to be more assertive in life. Meaning my ego, the disconnect that I have with Hashem is causing me to not have enough assertiveness. And so therefore, Hashem's putting this pushing situation, this uncomfortable situation, not because he wants me to suffer, but he wants to help me have bittul. And the true bittul is that I'm more assertive in this situation. And every situation is a different. Bittul expresses differently, but that's what he's saying, and that's what I was needed to do in that situation, and that's what we're learning. This is the end of that first part of the sikha. There's Dalet is the next from a different sikha, so we'll summarize them tomorrow. We'll go to the next point. And so basically, what we're saying is the flood of Noach wasn't specifically a negative thing. It had some, it wasn't nice, but the ultimate purpose of it was to cleanse the world. The world is very dirty. Spiritually, people were very immoral and behaving very badly, and the world needed cleanup, and that's why it was 40 days, representative of the 40 sav, the mikvah. Because the idea is the mikvah is just like the mikvah, you totally submerge yourself, so to speak, in kedusha. So too is the waters of Noach, and that's also the Mayim Rabbim, the patiras, the bothers and the concerns of life and making parnasa and just life in general. And when we realize that these ideas, and we look past the what's happening, but what's behind it, and then before we can realize what it is, it becomes Mei Noach, becomes actually calm waters. That we get it, we get what's happening, and so we see past that, and we get to the core of it, and we can get past it very quickly. Like the Rebbe said, once you recognize where it's coming from, what's happening, so then you can get past it very quickly and can move on to the good times. Hashem should be all of us, that we should be able to look past the challenges in life and see them for what they are, and not just, it's like when someone's like in Tanya the last few days, like someone's bothering you, So you can say, why are they bothering me? Or you can say to yourself, hey, what's Hashem teaching me? What's behind it all? And this is what we're saying. When you realize that, so then you can look at it from a different perspective, and then everything goes away, and the issues go away very quickly. And Mr. Hashem should be all of us, we should have any of the issues, we should have Mashiach to be continued tomorrow.